Greetings in Navistar's 150th year. 150 years in the transportation industry. We know you've seen Navistar trucks, but did you ever see a Weber? Weber? Not many Webers out there today, but it was the top name in heavy-duty hauling. It was known as the king of all wagons. You see, the Weber is the great-grandfather of Navistar. Henry Weber started building super rugged wagons in 1845 in Chicago. Demand rose so that he had to quit building handmaids. He moved to a larger building, bought some machinery, built even tougher wagons. 1883, Weber formed Weber Wagon Company, built more variety, largest line of farm and logging wagons. 1904, a perfect merger. Weber Wagons becomes part of the newly formed Chicago farm machinery giant International Harvester. With Weber, Harvester next motorized the wagon. Next, they introduced the two-cylinder air-cooled auto buggy. The rest of the story is told in the first industrial motion picture. Stand by.
We're about to show you the first motion picture ever made by a business company. Way back in 1911, a long time ago. The picture was a classic of the early days. The actors were stars. Their acting was rated perfect. In the words of today, the picture was magnificent, colossal, terrific. In short, it was the berries. We want you to compare the photography, the actors, their clothes, and the farm methods shown in the picture with those of today. And if you don't mind, I'm going to talk a little about it. A story of George, once a farm boy, now a mogul in his skyscraper office, and George is running a temperature. In comes his boyhood pal, a dressy pup with a flair for friendship. Hi, George, old boy, don't care if I do. What, vacation? Throw away them North Pole vacation folders and get a load of this. My dear Frank, I'm glad to know you are coming to spend your vacation with us on the old farm. Bring George with you if he can get away. He was always like an own son of mine, and I am not the only one who will be glad to see him. He'll know, your Uncle Jim. Good old Uncle Jim. What do you say, George? I'll go, says George, I'll go. And he chucks the real estate business in the roll-top desk and leaves 699th Street to stew in her own juice. Goodbye, Dottie. Pay the rent. I'll be back August 24th. Old Fancy Pants knows his stuff. For those who came in late, this is the second or dream phase of the story. Intimate view, denim pajamas. 1, 2, and so to bed. A farm boy who made good in the city in his luxurious apartment over the brewery stable. Don't roll out of the picture, you mutt. Dreamland, percher and fillies and the one-row cultivator. George may not like it, but he's used to it. Hot sun, not airplanes. Good actors. Which, the horses or George? And he rides like his great-grandsire who led the caravan across the prairies. No, not Indians, just wigwag and Uncle Jim. Now let's see if we can figure this out. Why is he hanging the horses on the fence? And over at the house the women bustled. Dinner? That's easy to understand. And George must be tying a few extra bundles while the meat cooks. Come on to dinner, Uncle Jim, you old slave driver. Cooking, washing, canning, and getting dinner. That's not household confusion, that's organization. Don't forget this is a dream. If that mare steps on Jim's foot, he'll wake up. What's he shelling corn for anyway? Drat the flies. Those dresses must be cooler around the... Hey, that must be hay for Maud and Bird, and he's dragging it in from somewhere. And on top of everything, Auntie's churning. Take it easy, Auntie. And Uncle Jim's wasting no time. "Yar," says Uncle Jim, "this yar size needs grinding. Come on, it'll give you an appetite." Who's discontented? Ah, there's a fine piece of mechanism for keeping the boys on the farm. "Come on," yells Auntie, "while things is hot." High noon. One of the blessings of a good American farm. Meat, potatoes, gravy, and they could have fried chicken 3 times a day. And that's not a strikers' mob scene. Those are law-abiding citizens getting ready to eat. But George is despondent, depressed, unhappy. His bosom is laden with grief. What, no eat? Something's eaten at George. Friends, we're coming to a crisis in this story, and don't you forget it. Phase number 3, the turning point. 0 hour, stilly watches of the night. And that's not a dungeon in a castle on the banks of the Wabash. That's an attic room up next to the tar paper roof where it's hot. And sleeping up there in August has cooled George's love for the farm. Give him time, he'll find the switch. And even in this bright, mellow light, George is enveloped in gloom. A struggle. Just dragging those boots around 10 hours would tear a man down. Decision, it's settled. Or is it? He hears a call from afar, or is that the neighbor's dog arguing? That's right, George, make up your mind. Shake the mothballs out of your Sunday suit, and we'll excuse you while you dress. Woman's intuition, she knows George is up to something. The plot thickens, it always does. And George ain't afraid to put it in writing. When Uncle Jim reads this, "Dear Mr. Martin, you have been more than a father to me, and I am sorry I must leave. I cannot stand the drudgery of farm life when I think there is something better for me in the city. Goodbye, George Randall." Good letter, George. You're a diplomat. You didn't tell him to go chase himself. And goodbye, overalls. And the young giant grabs his suitcase and is off and away. And here comes George, determination in every fiber. There comes a tide in the affairs of men which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. George is burning his breeches behind him. George? What, George? Don't go, George. And George almost weakens. Steady, my boy, courage. Go on and clinch her, you mutt. Don't keep us waiting. He wouldn't do so bad with a little practice. Onward, I'll conquer. And is she crushed or is she crushed? And he kind of likes to see her suffer. That's the brute in him. The old farm can go to grass, and that goes for the cultivator, too. That, my friends, is the end of the dream. And here's the boy with the striped suspenders right back in George's room. Wake up, George, snap out of it. We're off to the farm, and Aunt Susan's cooking. But George is up with a brown taste in his mouth and fur on his tongue. "Nothing doing," says George. "I dreamed of the old farm. 120 in the shade. 18 hours a day. Overtime 7 nights a week. You're overlooking something, George. Pulchritude, if you know what we mean." Is that Molly? Oh, boy. Ask me, am I going? Ask me, am I going? And with joy in his heart and a tune in his neck. Phase number 3A, back to the boyhood scene. And they arrive at 6 p.m. on the 5:15. And transportation, rubber tires. Well, what became of old Prince and the buckboard? And away they go, and here they come. Look at that residence, Buckingham Palace. Did they strike oil, or did old Kirkpatrick finally die? Why, Aunt Susie, greetings, thrice greetings, and welcome. Looks like receiving a foreign delegation. And here's your room, boys. Where'd they get the money for all this? That's what we'd like to know. And look at what we got, electric lights. And you ain't seen nothing yet. Bathroom, Saturday night, inside plumbing. Why, Aunt Susie Oozy. Sarah Bell, towels and soap. And there's something on George's mind. What do you think? Such femininity. Now, don't underrate George. Just wait and see. Watch your step. Ah, there's a picture suitable for framing. And such physical prowess. Guess who? George. Molly. And she's blushing to the roots of her nose. And can't they act the curls off of Hollywood? Oh, this'll get us down. Let's go away and leave them to themselves. Let's see, what phase is this? Revelation. Fox chaser, what the dickens is this? And the farm family's up after breakfast in bed. Tally-ho, and we're off to chase this monster of the deep. We mean dry land. Get out of the way, we want to see the plowing. And harvest. How many hired hands do you suppose they've got? This must be a horse show. Hurdle jumpers. Yes, hurdle jumpers. Look at that thing cutting wheat. And nothing can stop them. Drilling seed right in amongst the shocks. Come on with the horses. Riding horseback beats walking through the stubble barefooted. And this whatchamacallit. And more surprise, cream separator. You remember how Auntie used to churn? And corn sheller. Will wonders ever cease? Don't get that horse blanket skirt caught in a cogwheel and pull a striptease on us. And feed grinder, what do you know about that? And look at the feed belching out of that spout. And she's all run by electricity, enough juice for Coney Island. Looking at that switchboard would electrocute a man. Romance, romance. And this modern farm is equipped for everything. George, you act a little short on vitamins. Oh, they didn't have vitamins in 1911. Turn the oomph on to him, Molly. Is that the best you can do? Thank goodness it's settled. This just leaves me weak. You can't get in there, you horse thief. Love finds a way, an idea. Say, Asbury, let me have that speed, whatchamacallit. There's some unfinished business. Come on, Molly. And you can climb in, too, since you're going to get married. Look out, don't throw her in reverse. And they'll circle the globe by break of day. Then came the dawn, and what's the dog catcher after? Oh, our mistake. That must be a special delivery. Bad news? Did Mike break his leg, or is there a mortgage on the place? Come here, Ma. Dear Uncle Jim, you said the auto wagon, oh, that's what it was good for anything. It is. It's good for midnight elopements. I'm strong for the old farm and Molly. See you soon, George. Well, what are we going to do about it? Well, you remember how we did it, Ma. And that's all of the picture. And that was a snappy ending in 1911. What do you think about it?
As an industry murderously overloaded its teams by 1934, the horses retired so we could overload our dual-drive six-wheelers. Man, were those horses ever lucky.
International Harvester makes a complete line of trucks, the best that men, money, and more than a century of manufacturing experience can build. The factory at Fort Wayne, where heavy-duty models are manufactured, occupies 125 acres. At Springfield, Ohio, is another big international truck factory. Here, too, an army of skilled workmen produce light-duty trucks for industry, agriculture, and commerce in every quarter of the globe. There are internationals to meet every hauling need, dependably and economically. No international, from the light delivery units to the big six-wheelers, leaves these factories until every part and unit has passed the rigid tests and inspections qualifying it for the exacting standards, which assure top-notch performance in the completed truck. Work of skilled craftsmen is carefully checked at every stage of manufacture. Devices like these constantly guard material quality and dimensional accuracy. The business of moving coal at large strip mines is being taken over by motor trucks. Here is a typical installation. International trucks with gondola semi-trailers. Trucks cut strip mine equipment investment and operating cost and work in unison with the other machinery. The internationals on the job at this mine are every inch a match for heavy-duty work like this. These semi-trailer units haul 10-ton payloads. They combine stamina, flexibility, and tremendous pulling ability. Mud and steep grades are common here, but internationals are built to meet these conditions. Internationals fulfill the exacting requirements of economy and dependable performance, sturdy construction throughout, and such special features as individually replaceable cylinders and easily replaced main and connecting rod bearings assure long life and low-cost maintenance. International heavy-duty trucks are available in sizes, types, and wheelbases to meet every specialized hauling need. Hundreds of big utility companies in all parts of the country have learned the economy of international truck transportation. For installation and light maintenance work, the Illinois Bell Telephone Company employs many international half-ton units with special convenient body equipment like this. Here's an international doing a big job in a big way. Six-wheelers in both dual drive and trailing axle types are available in many sizes and wheelbases. International six-wheel trucks offer many definite economic and operating advantages. Among the more important of these are greater payload in proportion to truck weight, better load distribution, substantial economies in tire, fuel, and lubrication expense, longer life with reduced maintenance costs, greater safety, maneuverability, and ease of handling, improved riding qualities, and last but not least, wider economical operating range due to larger payloads through higher maximum weight limits permitted by most states. International trucks take an important part in all branches of the food industry. Probably this fruit was hauled from a Florida grove to the packing house in an international. Here is a typical heavy-duty unit used by many of the leading fruit and produce houses. Stamina and ability to carry heavy loads economically are the chief requirements of produce men, wholesale grocers, and meat packers. What Indiana thinks of internationals was well demonstrated in this parade of trucks bought by the Highway Department all at one time. 50 were 2-ton capacity and 18 more 4-ton units. These trucks are now taking part in Indiana's big road building program. The use of trucks is one of the most profitable steps in power farming. In the beautiful Palouse country of Washington, the man who owns these rolling acres will get his wheat to market quickly and conveniently over improved or unimproved roads with his international. These trucks are steadily taking over field and farm to rail or market hauling of all manner of crops all over the country. They speed up deliveries of grain, livestock, poultry, and produce. Thousands of international trucks of many sizes and with many types of bodies are operated by leading bakery organizations. This fleet of speedy, economical half-ton units with special bodies is operated in Indianapolis by the Omar Baking Company, which also employs many other internationals at various plants in the Middle West. Executives of Mandel Brothers, Chicago department store, congratulate George Marketek, Mandel driver. He hasn't had an accident in 10 years. Here they are, Mandel Brothers 46 new internationals, ready to go to work in Chicago, designated as Mandel Brothers Safety Fleet, emphasizing the store's modernizing program. Full-page newspaper advertisements call public attention to Mandel's new delivery equipment. This kind of a job really tests truck stamina and truck performance. Big city newspaper deliveries must be made on time, especially in the congested downtown areas where competition at every corner is unusually keen. The importance of motor trucks to a large-scale poultry and egg business was evident at the Western Washington Fair at Puyallup, Washington, when the poultry and egg producers had their day. As the Egg Day program high spot, more than 60 of the Washington Cooperative Egg and Poultry Association 117 internationals were paraded before packed fairground stands. When the association was organized in 1917, hauling was done mostly by the individual producers. But as the organization grew, speedier transportation of eggs and poultry from farm to market or shipping point called for trucks, and plenty of them. During 1934, the association's trucks covered over 1,600,000 miles, moving 143,000 tons, about 8,000 carloads of eggs, produce, and feed. When you want to know if a truck can take it, put it to work with the brawny lumberjacks in the Northwest, where hauling giant logs like these is a daily routine job. Dependable international performance has made these sturdy transportation units favorites among timber operators. You will find them wherever logging calls for trucks of unquestioned stamina and power. Here is a real job for good drivers and good trucks. The horse is retiring from the milk delivery business. The trend is to motorize delivery units, for it's the efficient, economical way. International provides two models especially designed for low-cost house-to-house delivery. Here is the latest thing for milk delivery, a refrigerated truck. 30 Internationals like this in the Wheeling Fleet, Chicago, were the first refrigerated milk trucks of this type manufactured. This truck delivers milk as cold and fresh as when it left the plant, and it saves time and money on frequent stop routes. At Bonneville, Oregon, 40 miles east of Portland and 145 miles from the Pacific, soon will rise the great Bonneville Dam, which when completed will impound Columbia River waters to create a lake 50 miles long. Here, as on all huge construction jobs, internationals are doing their part. Here White Brothers' huge international six-wheelers gladden the hearts of the men who drive them. These dual-drive six-wheel trucks splash through the water and mire and are on their way to the fill. The powerful engine hums while the driving wheels churn their way inch by inch through mud and slime to solid ground. Through the patented international power divider, equal power is delivered to both rear axles, a vitally important factor in heavy hauling operations where steep grades are encountered. In laundry and dry cleaning service, as well as retail delivery work of all kinds, the International half-ton panel truck has proved its ability to do the job speedily and economically. International trucks are on the job at Grand Coulee Dam on the Columbia River in central Washington. When finished, Grand Coulee Dam will be 4,000 feet long and 500 feet wide. 17 million cubic yards of concrete will be used in its construction, 2.5 times the amount used in Boulder Dam. Mrs. C.M. Payne and her son are proud of their fleet of heavy-duty Internationals. These big 10-tonners haul dirt up a steep grade to a dump a mile away and run rings around rival fleets. Mrs. Payne, one of the few women in big-time contracting, says, "My Internationals are most economical for heavy hauling." Now the Internationals working in the excavation where the great dam is to be anchored haul dirt and rock from the shovels and dump it on the end of a big belt conveyor which carries from 2,000 to 2,500 cubic yards an hour, 22 hours a day, 7 days a week, across the Columbia River and over a hill to Rattlesnake Canyon, 1.25 miles away. Hurrying food to family tables, hauling giant logs to busy sawmills, moving millions of tons of earth and rock, stepping up the work on the nation's farms, speeding the news of a fast-moving world. No matter what the transportation need or whether the job calls for speed or stamina, there's an International built to do the work the way you want it done and to do it at low cost.
Now, until you've seen the twist test on our Indiana proving grounds, you ain't been nowhere, and you ain't seen nothing. This road was designed by the folks who gave us child-proof medicine bottles and the detour.
Highway Transport, good morning. Thank you. Highway Transport, good morning. Oh, good morning.
Morning. Mr. Drew's expecting me.
Miss White, has Miller shown up yet? I told him I'd see him at 10.
He'll be right in, Mr. Drew.
Good morning, Mr. Drew. Yeah, how are you? What's that?
Remember I asked you some questions the last time you were in. Do you have the answers?
Just a second. I've got something to show you that'll surprise you.
Oh, a movie.
Yes, sir, a movie. And I've brought it along to show you one of the reasons why every third heavy-duty truck you see on the highway is an International. And why they'll do your job and do it right. The basic reason is that our engineers never take anything for granted. They get the facts. It's not enough to have an engineering setup second to none in the industry and the finest of all truck manufacturing facilities. To prove the performance, ability, economy, and stamina of International heavy-duty trucks, we've developed an unusually severe testing program. This program is no one-shot affair, not a quick dose for new models. It's carried on month after month, year after year. Improvements and new features are being developed constantly, and all these are tested thoroughly before they go into production. Much of this testing is done at our modern proving ground, where the most severe operating conditions have been duplicated. Other fleets of test trucks take the cross-country roads far from the factories, over the same kind of highways and under the same conditions your trucks and the other fellows' trucks must operate. Every test truck, no matter where it's operating, is loaded to capacity. Those weights aren't wood. They're 1,000-pound blocks of concrete or cast iron. Let me show you some of the things our engineers do before they'll okay a new model, or even a new feature. For example, here's the twist course, a torture for frame and cross members, springs and spring hangers, engine, cab, transmission, and other unit mountings, rear axle, steering mechanism, propeller shafts, and universals. In fact, every part of the truck, including the hood, cowl, fenders, and cab. Watch this. We torture them slowly like this and roll them at predetermined critical speeds over the Belgian block, the roughest of roads, giving the maximum punishment. Internationals take it and are ready for more. They're driving them thousands and thousands of miles with trained eyes and ears and precision instruments searching for any weakness. Day and night in all kinds of weather, but they don't always have nice, smooth roads like this. They get dust, dirt, mud, and rough roads as well as the smooth ones. Mud and water make no difference to these trucks. Here's a specially constructed mud bath, wetter and muckier than any muddy road they'll ever travel over. They get it going and coming, a double action. This is a real test for seals that are designed to keep mud and water and dust out of brakes, axles, transmission, propeller shaft bearings, and other parts. Every chassis part is given more punishment than it'll ever get on the road. And when the performance and stamina of a new line has been proved in action, in scientific breakdown tests, then, and only then, do these trucks get the final engineering okay. But we don't stop there. Our engineers turn them over to the sales department for approval before they're okayed for production. These final tests, unusual in the automotive industry, are supervised by the sales department, by men who know what the truck owner wants and needs. For months, skilled test drivers give them the works over all kinds of roads in all kinds of weather. 16 hours a day, 2 8-hour shifts that put hundreds of miles on the charts every day. Mile after mile, uphill and downhill over straight and crooked roads, the record tells the story of low-cost hauling with speed and safety. Before we're through with these tests, we know just what the trucks will do under the most difficult conditions. Modern high speeds and congested traffic present increased problems of highway safety. To meet these problems, international engineers have developed new and more powerful brakes with new features that make them stand the gaff of faster speeds and heavy loads. Brakes? We've got them. And talk about comfort. Here it is in the all-steel International cab. All-steel construction and safety plate glass. New comfort features are foam-type rubber seat cushion, individually adjustable seat and back cushions, more leg room, more headroom, and convenient controls. Riding comfort is greatly improved by longer front springs and new type 3-point rubber cushion cab mounting. Easy handling at all speeds is vitally important for safety and saves the driver a lot of effort. With our improved steering gears, drivers are less tired when the day's work is done. We're proud of our leadership. That's why we go so far with our testing program. The triple diamond emblem on every International truck is a mark of distinction, a symbol of more than 30 years of leadership. And today, 1 in every 3 heavy-duty trucks you see on the highways is an International. That's because we never take a chance. We build trucks that have capacity, power, speed, and safety with economy and comfort in a range of sizes and types for every hauling requirement. Every truck we put in service is as good as its name. Mountain roads, good roads, or no roads at all, we test every part of these heavy-duty Internationals until we're sure that no matter where you put them to work, they'll do the job and do it at low cost. We don't just assemble them. We build our heavy-duty trucks, 4-wheelers and 6-wheelers with International's famous valve and head engines. If your work calls for diesel power, we can supply that too. Internationals are available with 3 types of final drives: double reduction, spiral bevel gear, or 2-speed axles. A selection of final drive and gear ratios to meet all operating requirements.
Miller, I don't see how trucks can get that much abuse in everyday work, and I certainly never realized that your trucks were actually given such terrific tests before going into production.
Well, we've got to build them that good to get on top and to maintain leadership in the heavy-duty truck field.
Time marches on. This ain't your father's Studebaker, but it sure is your grandfather's workhorse.
Motor truck transportation becomes more important to all of us every day. Part of everything we eat, drink, or wear moves by truck. We ourselves are transported by bus. In serving us and truck owners, International motor trucks have blazed a record that far surpasses that of any other truck. International Harvester has been building these trucks for more than 40 years. Their records of performance have been written in the ruts of the oil fields and the farms, on the steep grades of the lumber roads, and on the high-speed transcontinental highways. Users have asked for more and more trucks with such performance. Until today, 1 out of every 3 heavy-duty motor trucks in use is an International. For 18 consecutive years, International heavy-duty trucks have led the industry in national registrations. Why? Because they're built to do the tough jobs. They're engineered for heavy-duty service. And now the veteran engineers who designed those trucks blend their past experience with all the new developments to create an even greater line of motor trucks. A line of trucks in which every model is heavy-duty engineered. A line that will be the new champions of transportation. But new champions are not made in a day. Engineering specialists are continually developing transmissions, axles, brakes, engines, chassis, bodies, and cabs. And when new models are to be produced, every component part takes on new importance. All must meet Harvester's high-quality standards. All must be completed and proved before the deadline. Other departments, manufacturing, sales and service, and consumer research also join in the gigantic coordinated program. To determine what features the truck user wants and needs, consumer research representatives talked to owners, drivers, and mechanics. They said they wanted more versatile axles and transmissions. Others said, "I'd like better vision, more comfortable riding, roomier cabs." Others wanted easier starting, better control of cab temperatures, better cab ventilation. Still others said improved braking, more maneuverability. Others asked for longer engine life, more fuel economy, more power output. All these features must be incorporated in the new line. As engineering builds the respective units, they undergo exhaustive tests. This axle will run under full load for hundreds of hours. A transmission gets the same treatment. Each subassembly or individual part, regardless of size, must prove beyond doubt that it is an improvement. It must be able to perform better and last longer. One of the outstanding features of the new line is the new Silver Diamond engine. It's a valve-in head engine that's been in the making for years. Minute records are kept of every new development as engines run continually under full load for month after month. Another Silver Diamond engine, this one under full load on another dynamometer. All international truck engines undergo continuous testing programs. The new Super Red Diamond and Super Blue Diamond engines undergo the same grueling tests. All new developments must be fully proved. And always there's an expert on hand, checking, listening, checking. Everything is charted. Periodically, the engines are torn down and every wearing surface measured by master craftsmen. In man-made cold rooms with temperatures 20 degrees or more below zero. A severe test for carburation and starting. Shock and load tests on the chassis dynamometer put terrific stresses on the engine and all power transmission units. Go hundreds and hundreds of times to measure the life and endurance of every part. At the Proving Ground track at Fort Wayne, Indiana, drivers wear them out if they can. The current design of the cab fenders, hood, and grille cover the new engines and chassis. Under full load, it's a continuous grind of 24 hours a day, day after day, week after week. Every detail is checked. Every development is carefully recorded. Tests under actual operating conditions are essential, so with new coats of red paint, they're off to the highways and the byways, regardless of the weather. For more than 2 years, these trucks of the field test fleet are pounded over all kinds of roads, from coast to coast and border to border, for more than 3 million miles. For climatic changes and road conditions that are most severe, they're operated from bases in New York and Arizona. They are driven on New England's highways with their many cities. They wind through the streets of old Santa Fe. They stop and go with the traffic of the medium in large cities. And they roll on past the tiny towns and the wide open spaces of the West. They're driven beside the blue waters of Lake Champlain, out across the Great Plains states. Mile after mile, hour after hour, along the turbulent waters of the Rio Grande, where it flows through peaceful valleys. Adverse road conditions are sought everywhere, all with specific purpose. With this penetrating, soupy mud, there must be perfect sealing of transmissions, wheels, propeller shafts, and pinion bearings. There's the dust of the desert, where air cleaners, cab ventilation, and cooling must prove themselves. On tough climbs up long, steep mountain grades, they must have power and stamina. The gears must shift easily and positively. transmissions, and axles must be more than a match for heavy loads and the steep grades. It's up the mountains and down again. Over roads that are blacktop, gravel, or dirt, always under full load. There are extreme altitude and temperature changes from the desert to the mountaintops. Over some of the nation's toughest highway grades and mountain passes. Down the mountain on winding gravel roads is a long, hard grind, but new brakes handle all situations with certainty and ease. Brakes that have capacity and are positive. They spell safety to the driver and the load. With 3 shifts of drivers over all kinds of roads, all kinds of grades, always under full load, every truck must prove to the world that it's heavy-duty engineered. Every operation is systematic and scientific. Every convoy from this base in Arizona has its supervisor and inspector. Every driver must make a daily report of his vehicle's performance. Everyone, all the way to the chairman of the board of directors, Fowler McCormick, is intensely interested in every development. Company officials follow every new improvement and refinement. More trucks join the fleet and are fully loaded. Each block weighs 1,000 pounds, and every truck is loaded to capacity. The field test fleet now operates in separate convoys. Coming through Arizona's Oak Creek Canyon are the light and medium models. Competitive makes have been added for comparative analysis. And the heavy jobs are wheeling home from their daily climb over the mountain. Separate operation makes possible the maximum daily workout for every type of truck. The pickups climb the steep grades and make the sharp turns of the picturesque Apache Trail. On the desert, cooling and ventilation must function perfectly. And in this steep climb up San Francisco Peak, the engines must function perfectly at high altitude. Back at mile-high altitude, the pickups get a baptism of slush and mud. The medium trucks push on through plowed roads where there's still snow in the roadways. Transportation can't wait for cleared roads. It must go through. Snowstorms hit the big tractor-trailer units. Drivers must have good visibility and fresh, warm air. The trucks must conquer the storms. The tons they haul might be vegetables and fruits from growers to the people of the cities. They must keep rolling on through storm or sunshine. More than 2 years on the road, more than 3 million miles in all sections of the nation, on all kinds of roads, through all kinds of weather, up mountains and down, through desert heat and winter storms, the trucks have proved their worth. They are indeed heavy-duty engineered, a line of new champions of transportation. In the meantime, at the Fort Wayne Proving Ground, all kinds of torture tests are in progress. The spectacular new cab hoods, fenders, and grille are given severe punishment. The Figure 8 test for thrust on front wheels and spindles. The outriggers are for safety. Belgian blocks, scientifically constructed rough roads, deal out their punishment to the springs, the steering mechanism, the cab, and the cab mountings, and every part of the body. Notice the contrast between the light on the spindle and the other near the driver's seat. The toughest test of all, the twist course. Imagine the terrific stress upon every fiber of the truck structure as it surges back and forth, always under full load. There's strain on the frame, the steering mechanism, the springs, every chassis part, the cab, hood, and grille. Whenever a vehicle can withstand that stress for hour after hour, it has proved beyond doubt that it's worthy of manufacture. high quality has been the basis of International's 18-year leadership in the heavy-duty truck field. Quality that is produced by a combination of expert craftsmen and the most modern machine tools. Many thousands of men and women make trucks at 6 large plants. Engines at Indianapolis, Indiana, finished trucks at Fort Wayne, Indiana, Bridgeport, Connecticut, Springfield and East Springfield, Ohio, and Emeryville, California. It's a complete and efficient manufacturing system that has produced some of the world's best trucks. But that is not enough. Improved equipment can make a still better finished motor truck. So new machine tools are added for the new line of trucks. Among the most spectacular is this transfer milling machine. In its several successive operations, it mills all the surfaces on an engine block. Almost human in its actions, more than human in its precision. Another transfer machine tool where multiple drills make all the holes in the block in successive operations. Drilling the holes in a water pump with an intricate machine. Such a system not only makes better parts, but keeps down manufacturing costs. Electrically welding the rear plate on a differential housing. The procedure is fast, the plate is secure. These are but a few of the spectacular improvements in this new $30 million retooling operation. Improvements that mean better trucks with longer life. Representative models of the new L line. Here is distinctive styling and advanced engineering. With many basic models and scores of variations within those models, every user, from the man who needs a pickup to the one who wants a big, powerful tractor, is assured that here he'll find the right truck to meet his needs. For any industry or any specialized job within an industry, there's a model that will meet the exact specifications with every truck heavy-duty engineered. Every model is a new champion of transportation. Basic design of the Comfo Vision cab is the same for all models, yet the variations give the user exactly what he wants. Let's see the cab in use. Carefully designed, this cab contributes to the comfort and safety of the driver. It adds to the efficiency and economy of any operation. The cab is constructed to accommodate any type seat a purchaser may desire. The curved sweep sight windshield and curved dash allow the corner posts to be located farther back, thus broadening the driver's field of vision. The broad cushions and the extra leg room mean more comfort and less fatigue. There's plenty of room in this cab to relax. There's room for the elbows and plenty to spare. The cowl ventilator supplies fresh air either directly or through the all-weather heating and ventilating system. The curved sweep sight windshield with no center post allows unhampered forward vision. The broad sweep, both to the left and to the right, provide increased safety on the open road and at intersections. Since the driver is seated more advantageously, overhead traffic lights can be seen readily. An accessible engine is a time-saving feature that's valuable to the owner and to anyone who services the vehicle. If it's handy, the oil level will be checked frequently. And if the battery, air cleaner, and oil filter are convenient, they receive timely attention. The nation's largest exclusive truck service organization is always standing by and ready. No time is wasted or tempers ruffled when the engine is so readily accessible. Everywhere that trucks are used, L-line models are acclaimed the new champions of transportation. Pickups do most jobs on the small farms and the light work on any farm. They're powered with the brilliant new valve-in-head silver diamond engine. They give heavy-duty performance in the fields and passenger car performance on the highways. In the cities, the convenience of loading and unloading is just as important as on the farms. In all these trucks, there's a choice of several colors, whatever is pleasing to the user and appropriate for his business. Fast on the getaway, highly maneuverable in traffic, these dependable pickups are a sure way to please old customers and win new friends. Whatever the type of work, there's a pickup of the right size with the comfortable, roomy ComfoVision cab. Whether on the farm, in the city, or within an industry, a stake body may be the most desirable. Even these light models are all truck. They're heavy-duty engineered for longer life and better performance. For loads that require all-weather protection, the panel delivery is the fast, dependable delivery unit. Multiple stops for the metro. It's especially adapted to heavy traffic. From the metropolitan areas to the small towns, it solves the problem of multiple starts and stops. There's a multitude of sizes and variations in the new L line, all planned to make the truck fit the job. They're all designed for standard length bodies. All have shorter wheelbases for greater maneuverability. Whether loads are light, medium, or heavy, there are models to fit every user's requirements in every part of the country, on the farm, in the city, or in industry. Whether in the north, south, east, or west, versatile trucks that are correctly equipped handle any crop or any commodity, whether on the farm or in the city. A coal truck of the Lodestar series. Lodestars are designed for maximum loads where fast road speeds are not required. This one is powered by the Super Blue Diamond valve and head engine. This Lodestar model has the Super Red Diamond engine. Other models of the Lodestar series at work. International heavy-duty tractor trucks long have been the standard of the highways. Now the new roadliners, built in several sizes, are setting new records, are reaching new goals. This one is powered by the Super Red Diamond engine, seasoned champion of the highways. From the largest roadliner to the smallest, There's economy and efficiency as they bring vital products from the fields to the markets, from the processors to the consumers. Three giants get together. Care for a cigarette, pal? A giant of the jungles, the giant of the crawlers, and a giant of the highways. Even an elephant must look up to this giant road liner. Fast transportation for heavy equipment from one operating location to another. The movement of vital commodities in quantities that are efficient and economical. And the 24-hour-a-day dependable service to the many industries, rain or shine, dust or mud, now can be better than ever before because there's more power, better brakes, higher efficiency, and more brilliant performance. Today's cattle industry puts its faith in motor truck transportation in moving finished stock to market. Out of that corral and away to the stockyards. They'll soon be steaks on hundreds of dining tables. And now, in the most modern way, they're rolling to market. The shrinkage is minimized. The quality of beef is maintained. Modern lumbering methods with landings deep in the woods depend upon the big trucks to move the giant logs to the booming grounds or the mill ponds. Most of the nation's lumber supply must be hauled over the rough, tough roads on the mountainsides. Here, it's tonnage that counts on the payloads. The job demands abundant power to start and to pull the loads. It also demands superb brakes to hold back the gigantic loads, tons and tons of logs that would go plunging down the mountainside. Only trucks that are heavy-duty engineered can long withstand the strain. Internationals do the job. All the advanced engineering, modern manufacture, and careful planning reach their culmination in the new line. Here, International Harvester, the manufacturer whose heavy-duty motor trucks have led the industry for 18 consecutive years, presents the most complete line of any manufacturer. A line that, with its many basic models and scores of variations within those models, assures every user that he'll find exactly the right truck to meet his needs. They are tested and proved, and from the lightest pickup to the heaviest road liner, every model and every variation from bumper to bumper is heavy-duty engineered. On the farms, in the cities, in industry, and on the highways, they are the new champions of transportation.
That's where it all began a century and a half ago, harvesting and hauling America's output over the roads.